want to do a little bit of VOD review, but it shouldn't take too long to do that. Bust out the VOD. Alright. Okay, let's do it. The thing is, okay. Enough's enough. I'm gonna do the VOD review right now. And we don't really set the tone with this kind of aggression. Like right now, at the piss around, like look at us, like we're taking it to them, kind of like setting the tone. We're like busting their strats. We're like not even letting them feel comfortable. As the VOD goes on, the theme of our stuff is that we don't really do that too much. The critique I had here is that the last situation was played poorly, in my opinion. PSOM could have easily doubled us. The guys like in the site, Austin and Vic, that were rotating over, they could have played that more cautiously, if that makes sense. It was fine, but it was also like very scary. Like right here, he's like shooting at Vic, right? Sees Vic. Here comes Austin. Body double. This is scary. Those are one of those angles that like you want to be careful of. You want to maybe play the box and like play the angle when your teammate's rotating and has that ang. You guys gotta make sure that you're playing like the angles that we know, you know? It's like map awareness, right? I think that sometimes when people are rotating over to that little spawn angle, they don't really notice what angles they're going to be taking. Like they can cut off a certain side, like maybe a hookah jump or a right side tube run in or something like that. So people have to play more cautiously and play more for time to let people plant the bomb. Here, this is silly. This is what to me means the tone that they're going to want to set at the beginning of the half is kind of one of those like aggressive in your face kind of style that they're going to be like feeling that B is comfortable for them to work. When that happens and you start seeing like heavy B take, like you know a team heavy defaults B. So that's like another thing that I wanted to like point out, that these are tendencies that we have to pick up on as far as like strategies goes, that when teams have a certain style and they heavy default or they pop, you have to figure out like what they're doing, how they're doing it, and then also like where the masses are going. So if teams like heavy default B, you always know like maybe A pushes, A rushes, like they could be kind of advantageous because the masses are going to be here. Or if you like, you know, I want to say heavy default A, but they like hold here, and like spread, then you know that, you know, maybe at the beginning you can't push too much. You gotta like push late round, maybe find the hole or something like that. But this is, in my opinion, a bad angle as well. They can creep up right under the angle, like right in here, and go like this, and they can like headshot Angie only. And Spectre's a really good gun, but the moment that you start giving yourself like a medium range fight with the Spectre, you're making it harder on yourself for no reason. This was proper, like we waited for the drone, we baited it, we like funneled them in, you know, but at the end of the day we didn't really like accomplish too much. We ended up losing a lot of guns. We had to waste a lot of economy just to keep them at bay, and at the end of the day they killed us and took away our guns, and they got the bomb down. Not the most ideal situation. We're winning 2-0 now, and look at the money. They're technically going into a stronger buy than us next round, and look at the kind of buy we have now. We did like the right thing pushing short here. The only issue that we had is that there wasn't enough action. My critique, and I understand like this is not a bad position to be in, I think that the push through has to happen because you're still like giving yourself a medium range fight. Watch the radar. You're gonna see the drone. This little crosshair here, this is the drone. The drone ends up getting vision of Sage, and Tyler calls that Sage does not see the drone. Camera's not even on. We did not do anything off of that. Like, he made the call, we made zero action off of it. Like Brax walks here, like there's no like assertiveness, like go, like this is here, like he didn't see it, make a move, like it was just too stale, just like getting picked apart. We have like these like forward positions, like Brax ends up taking a timing peek, eventually gets owned by Poise. Kev is like gonna trade him, gets one tap by Poise. Like these are just like really bad fights that it sometimes happens, but in my opinion, I think that's not good. We could have potentially brought this back. Like you're never out. This is like, I mean, it's an okay fight, but you got to get the kill, and he missed it. He left him at like 1 HP. Tyler does a good job of trying to get us back in it. If we would have had a third kill, we probably win this round. But if, you know, the fact that Austin didn't get his, it just makes it damn near impossible, you know. We let them control the pace too much. This is like a save round, it's fine. We just like overstack A a little bit. I already said this like second round. The theme of this is that they pretty much default B heavy the whole time. Like you could kind of see how confident they are going B and how heavy they go B. We're like 4 or 5 rounds in, you know, 6 rounds in, like you're starting to see the trend, right? So these are times that you kind of start saying, okay, they're either going to start hitting us with that A pop, but we also have to be aware that when they do turn their default, it's going to be here. So I think right now, unfortunately, what happens is that we get hit with the A pop, and then the guys in showers finally get a little bit aggressive in a way, but not too much. Vic just misses a shot. They run through, and Austin doesn't get the trade, or he gets a trade, but he like dies right after. So there's like death, trade, death, and then free A. Round over. We ended up doing a B push, which was good, and we caught them off guard. So this is like us playing back to our strength. The guys on A should not be in this much of a forward position. Like, this should not be happening right now when we're doing this kind of actions. What we call shroud here, right by the exit of sewers, and one guy U-Haul like this is not good. Like, this is proper, this is what we want, but now he's gonna obviously make the call. What Austin did here is fine, because I know that he's one of the best ciphers in the game, or if not the best. So taking the trips out, putting them back, avoiding shock darts when you know you have against a good Sova, that's always really good too. The issue here is that he ends up like staying, he ends up peeking this and like dying when we know the offense is being funneled to A. We've already pushed down B and cleared that, but that's the opposite side of the map. They need time to get there. By the time they end up getting there, it's just too late, and these guys are too forward. Like, this arrow comes in and he doesn't even see it or hear it, not paying attention. I don't know what happened, but his teammate that should have potentially shot that is opping, which Austin doesn't usually op, and he's playing in a forward U-Haul position that can even potentially do that. And then he gets pinged, he swings and dies, and there goes A after our B push. You know, these are things that, like, what we deem as sort of like a basic or like a fundamental type thing are these like over rotations and these pushes and things like that. Like, you never are aggro on the bomb site that was not initially pushed on, right? Like, what's the point of that? You're supposed to play more passive because the masses are on the other side of the bomb site, or the other side of the map, making the aggression. If they go on that side and they do their job, they get you the intel. The last thing that you want to do is be so far pushed that your death absolutely is like, you know, gives up the round. Like, we never have any sort of control of the bomb site. By the time that the players on the opposite side of the map can get to this bomb site, they're in such a backwards position that the offense could take, even if it's a 3v4, it doesn't even matter at this point, because they could just be so forward that it won't matter. You can't play so forward. You can't play in a spot that lets you die. Like, this is the stuff that cost us these little moments and little fights, and here we are like digging ourselves a grave against like a team that is like, they're playing smart because they're just playing to our weaknesses, and our weaknesses, we're the ones giving up these kills. We're the ones that are exposing ourselves. We're not exposing them. Like, we're taking pretty decent aggression, but it's not enough. It's maybe not in the right moments. Like, right now, like, look, we're doing what we should have been doing a little bit early, but this is where they are playing a good game. Like, what you guys got to understand too is that Homeless had a very good game. They played smart, they played well, and they were fragging. Can't take away from a team that's playing very well, you know what I mean? They were making the right calls, they were making the right moves. Like, we were the ones that were playing poorly, and if that's the case, I mean, we deserve to lose simply because like we played so poorly. Like, every time you see us making an action, they immediately react off of it, and it's not even necessarily about preparation at that point. It's more of just that looseness mentality of let's go, let's roll. And they were just banging when it came to the calls that they were making, and as you see, we gave it to them, right? Like, we made the mistakes. We as a team were making the right plays as far as funneling people. If we're like pushing them from B to A, we can't be giving them these kills. Like, it's not that like they didn't get prepared to go A there. Like, they had no choice. We made the right move. We just fucked up. That's the thing. Like, if we're the ones that are making the mistakes, teams that have good players or good skill are going to take advantage of it. Like, that's what's called an off day for some teams, right? Like, when you make really poor decisions. We made a lot of really bad decisions that ended up costing us some rounds that we had to win. And if we won some of these rounds that were really important for us, we ended up wasting too much for it to win. My critique here is that we don't even actually like show any presence. Like, we did a drone, like we showed them that we're around, but then we kind of just like let them fall back. Like, we don't do anything. We don't push them back anywhere. They end up just having all the information at this point when we've like done nothing and a certain amount of time hits in the round. Superman is just already rotated over. The guy's always aware of our rotates, so at this point we've not probably done enough on B to let them feel like they are scared, but for whatever reason, like, we could have just like walked up into long for free, but we end up walking into 4 guys on A, which is like unfortunate the theme of it. Like, we end up just getting owned to like running into overstacks all the time. And like, this round is like, you know, kind of like a save round. I think one guy buys because we had enough money, but I mean, we do like nothing with it, right? We have one gun jumping out hookah. Like, this is like a poor, I said this is like a poor call. Like, we don't need to be doing this. Like, we don't need to be like jumping out hookah against like a bunch of rifles when all we have is pistols and we don't even have like a jet to like create space or something like that. And then our duelist, our Phoenix, our entry is the one that has the gun. He's got to be able to like get more kills. Brax is such a good player that you can't just tell him like, hey, jump out this wall and try and get some frags. It's like we gotta like do more for the guy, you know, like set him up a little bit more for that. Homeless did a good job of making sure that we were kept guessing as to what we were doing. Now, I don't even think that we knew that. Like, I don't think that until after the fact, and we watched the VODs, or even I was telling them after, it's like, guys, like, Cypher started playing a lot of A, but then when we started taking A, they started pushing him towards B, and they started moving the Brim and the Sova over to A, so you guys ended up running into overstacks more. So it's like, it just made it way too difficult, and we get caught in these situations that we just have no chance. Like, it's just, they're all like, we're all left, all these games, like, we're basically left to trying to win based on individual skill, and that's not good, you know. We can't try and win these games on individual skill when you're playing against another team that has good skill as well. Okay, hold on one sec, guys. I'm gonna go into the other map. The other map is gonna be much shorter because we end up getting bodied. So it's gonna be a lot shorter one.